Why does every life lead to death? This question, why does every living thing eventually die, is one of the most profound and timeless questions humans have ever asked. Below are different perspectives on this universal truth. 1. From a scientific perspective, after a certain amount of time, these cells degenerate and cannot be repaired. So instead of living longer, they die and are replaced by newer cells. But the new cells also age, and one day their time comes too. This keeps happening over and over again until every cell in your body has died and been replaced. Because of this constant degeneration and replacement of cells, no living thing can live forever. We enter the world as helpless infants, not knowing anything about life. He believed that our awareness of mortality gives meaning to our existence. Without it, he argued, life would be directionless and without purpose. For Christians, death means going to heaven or hell after judgment. For some, it's a reunion with God. For Buddhists, death leads to reincarnation based on one's karma. Hindus believe death is a temporary separation of the soul from the body, leading to either heaven, hell, or rebirth. We plan our lives as if we'll live forever. To paraphrase the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, the most terrifying thing is to realize that death is inevitable and to come face to face with our own mortality. But Jung also said that this realization can be a powerful catalyst for growth and transformation. Here's another one you might enjoy. And thank you for watching. It can help us to discover our true selves and to live a life that is more meaningful and fulfilling. We get married as if we're sure we'll never die. It is a scientific fact, a philosophical challenge, a religious mystery, and a humanistic guide. Despite the pain and suffering it causes, death is an essential part of life, a reminder of our shared humanity, and a source of wisdom and inspiration. It is through our relationship with death that we learn to appreciate the preciousness of life, the value of time, and the importance of living each day to the fullest. We have children as if we'll always be young. We work as if there's no tomorrow. And when we're old and near death, we look back and wonder, where did the time go? Why did we work so hard? Why didn't we follow our dreams? Humanistic psychology views death not as an end, but as an integral part of life. It sees death as a teacher that guides us to live more fully, to cherish each moment, to confront our fears, to appreciate our blessings, and to seek meaning in our experiences. Death reminds us of our shared humanity. It unites us with all who have lived before us and those who will live after us. It humbles us in the face of life as mysteries and challenges us to make the most of our time on earth. From a humanistic perspective, death is a source of wisdom and inspiration. It encourages us to live more authentically, to embrace change, to forgive ourselves and others, to find joy in simplicity, to cultivate gratitude, to nurture relationships, to pursue our passions, to serve others, and to leave a positive legacy. Muslims believe death is followed by judgment and then paradise or hell. Native Americans believe death is a return to the spiritual world from which the soul came. Some African tribes think death is a journey to an afterlife where ancestors watch over and protect their descendants. So from a spiritual perspective, death is not the ultimate end, but rather a transformation or a shift in consciousness. It can be seen as a liberation from the physical world, a return to one's purest essence, a reunion with the divine, or a continued journey along the path of the soul. Religions around the world offer various comforting beliefs regarding what happens after death. They provide solace to the living and guidance to the dying, helping them face their mortality with faith and courage. Death becomes a rite of passage, a lesson in the grand scheme of existence. Each culture has its own unique beliefs about the afterlife, often shaped by its history, environment, and worldview. These beliefs can provide comfort to the grieving, guidance to the dying, and a sense of continuity to those who have lost loved ones. We spend our days learning and experiencing everything until one day we come close to death and our awareness begins to slip away again, not knowing what lies ahead. This cycle of not knowing can be a little scary, but it also gives life meaning. By knowing that our time is limited, we are motivated to live more meaningfully, to appreciate the time we have, and to act with responsibility towards ourselves and others. As the Persian poet Rumi wrote, "Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to improve my life. Today I am wise, so I don't need to." Everything that is good in life is available only to those who are prepared to give it all they have. Love as much as you can, as widely as you can. In the final analysis, this is all that you will be able to take with you. So, from a humanistic perspective, death is not merely a biological event, but a catalyst for self-reflection and personal growth. It encourages us to examine our actions and choices, reminding us to make the most of the time we have. Even the most complex organisms on Earth are finite systems. Biological functions like metabolism, growth, reproduction eventually slow down and stop altogether. So, from a scientific point of view, death is inevitable because it's simply the way our bodies are designed. As physicist and author Brian Greene puts it, death is not an end, it's a doorway. All that we seem to lose, all that we seem to leave behind, it's all part of a larger whole, a cosmic dance, an eternal cycle from which nothing is ever truly lost. Birth, aging, illness. Death is a natural biological cycle for all living beings. All living things are made up of cells. These cells have a lifespan. Well, the answer lies in the grand scheme of evolution. Death plays a crucial role here. It allows new generations to grow and ensures the continuation of the species. It also plays a vital role in maintaining the balance of ecosystems. Take, for example, the population of rabbits in an area. If there were no predators or diseases to limit their numbers, the rabbit population would grow rapidly, outcompeting other species for limited resources and upsetting the balance of the entire ecosystem. However, predators and diseases naturally keep the rabbit population under control. When a rabbit dies, its body becomes food for decomposers like bacteria and fungi, which break it down into simpler substances that can be reused by other organisms. So from a scientific standpoint, death is not just a fact of life, but a fundamental process that sustains the web of life itself. But why must this process happen? Why can't we just keep growing older and older? What purpose does death serve? And now let's take a step back from the purely biological and consider death through different lenses: philosophical, religious, and even spiritual. 2. From a philosophical and humanistic view, death is both an end and a beginning of awareness. Philosopher Martin Heidegger once said, "Only when we become aware of our death do we truly begin to live." 3. From a spiritual and religious viewpoint, in many faiths, death is not the end, but a transition to another realm, a doorway to another state of being. From the spiritual view, death is a natural phenomenon, but it's not the final destination. 4. From a humanistic perspective, life has a finite length. It ends with death. We know this, yet we often forget it. So whether we're young or old, healthy or ill, happy or sad, death is always with us, reminding us to live each day as if it were our last. When viewed through various perspectives, death takes on many layers of meaning. I hope you enjoyed this video.